what elements of gameplay, like Silo and some of those bigger Kicking Mustang, some of the bigger YouTubers, like what do you find engaging? What takeaway? What things would you apply from their content towards like your content from a creation standpoint?
I mean, I'm not a huge expert on content creation. That's more your ballpark because, like, I'm still learning how to put a video together and edit stuff. And um, I feel like if I continue, I need to like bump that quality level up to kind of where you and like the higher ups like you guys. I need to get the quality up to that level, and I'm not sure how to do that, which is where you come in. But
No, you honestly have all the elements, like breaking down just your gameplay compared to other people's. Like, one, your intros are great into your videos, explaining what you're doing, where you're going, what gun you're using. Then your gameplay, you've got music. The transitions are smooth from you being in a studio to going out to the field. Like, there's nothing, there's no speed bumps. I don't know if you look at your analytics and see like where people are skipping on you and stuff like that. You can obviously look at those numbers and go, okay, I need to address this, and this. But one thing I've noticed for myself is I'm losing people when I get shot. I completely have cut out every place that I get shot. I do not show that anymore. And actually, it was you that mentioned something about it being more entertaining when content creators just kind of like make a video of them playing, not necessarily like, because you can still tell a story, because Silo does a great job. And some of these other guys might throw in like one or two of them getting shot. Me personally, I hate it's so slow. It's like, oh, someone's screaming that they're shot and there's red on the screen and stuff. It's just, that's boring. And I know my viewers, like the people that watch my videos, the 5 people that do, which
500.
I love all 5 of you. No, I've noticed that those spots when you get shot, people lose interest. And it's like the second I started cutting that out, kept the music, kept everything paced really well. Like the pacing in the gameplay videos is just attack, 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 attack. Now, obviously there needs to be a level of competitiveness. Like I don't know, you got to be competitive when you're playing, which I'm going to plug myself right here. I've got a shop with some e-merch. You can buy the hit markers that I'm using in my gameplay footage. It's just a really nice way to streamline your gameplay editing. So if you want to just like click and drag a hit marker and then edit the size of it, like you have the sound and everything all in one place, it'll literally just be a perfect hit marker every time.
So on that, how does one like, and you'll probably do a video or something, but is this just like essentially like adding an image into a video, or is it pretty simple to add in?
It's a video clip. It's actually a video clip that I did on Motion, turned into a video clip. It was started as a PNG and a sound file, spliced the two together for like a second. So literally you're just hearing that click of the actual hit marker going off, and that's how fast it happens. So you would basically click and drag that into the timeline. And what I do to get, we're talking about content creation, so we might as well dive into this just a little bit. Yeah. So on my timeline, I will have my run cam footage, and I will select the part right where the gun goes off. I'll track the BB, and when the BB makes it to the target, I'll hit M. I'm using a Mac, so it puts a marker down in my timeline, and I'm using Final Cut. But Sean uses Premiere, and he uses the same hit markers that I'm using, so it works well there. So I'll put my marker there, and then I'll just drag my hit marker file right over the timeline and drop it right where my mark is, and then I will edit basically its positioning, right where I'm making impact on the target. And then I can even hit copy paste, and throw a couple of them there. If I'm firing, rapid or full auto, we get that click, click, click. And the cool thing about doing just copy and paste, once you've got the first one positioned, subsequently the ones that follow are going to be in that exact same spot. So, but that's one nice thing with Final Cut. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's $9 on my website. You can buy it, get the download instantly, and get right to work. And I also have some RunCam overlays of just crosshairs and stuff like that. They're super cheap if you want to spice up your RunCam footage and have it a little bit more. I got that idea originally from Navrich. I love his work. He does a great job, really inspired. So I wanted to kind of like make my own. I'm not stealing his idea. I'm not stealing the stuff that he did, but just I improved upon what's already. You know what? Seriously though. So like he had a whole course. But like the hit markers and everything were like, dude, if you would do it his way, and put a hit marker in, position the hit marker, and then take the audio and position the audio. I mean, you could make like a compound clip and maybe like ghetto rig it inside your editing software. But why not just have something where you can just put it in a folder, you're done gameplay, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, you're done. All you have to do. And like, dude, my gameplay footage when I'm editing, you don't have to start at position A like you did when you went to the field and end at position B. I will literally just take the best parts of the entire day, mash up movement shots. So I'll pick like, okay, this is me shooting at people. This is, I'm telling a story. It's entertaining. I'm telling a story. This is me running to another position. That might not have actually happened in real life. Like me going from this position to that position, it's just cinematic. Like we're just making a video at this point. Like, I'm not putting in me getting shot. Like people don't care. People don't want to see that. I'm human. I get blasted all the time. Like you don't want to see that. I promise you don't want to see that. So me standing there screaming for a medic, waiting for Mr. Filthy Casual or Peyton or Derek to come running over, Bam, any of those guys or all the other awesome people who play at ambush. Like I'm not going to sit there and freaking show all of that nonsense.
That's, I seem to remember a prison scene where somebody was calling for their mommy.
Now that is
was that you or was that Sean? I don't remember.
Now, Sean and I almost got out of that scrape, but the DEA definitely got us. But yeah, that was just that was just staying in character. That was
to the agents watching and or listening. It's Airsoft.
I keep telling them that, but the SUV is still sitting down the block.
The Blackhawks are circling over. But no, that's super cool. And I'm probably going to buy that hit marker from you because that's super cool that it has the audio and the clip and everything. And I'm going through it in my head and I know exactly how I could transform and pull that and move it around and stuff. So yes, that's super cool. So definitely check that out. And where did you say that was on your link tree?
Yeah, it's in my link tree. So it'll be down in the description here. I'm trying to get it on the carousel that's underneath every one of the videos, but the integration to do that, it's actually in my t-shirt shop, has digital products that I can sell as well, which I'm adding a lot more digital products to that. Just stay tuned for some of the other stuff that we're working on. I've got some color grading stuff, some of the LUTs that I use, recreating those because I've got one that's really solid for the GoPro, and I actually put it on Sean's Osmo Action. I think he's got the 3. Dude, it was clean. Actually, you saw it. It was.
I was gonna say, is that one where he was?
Mm-hmm. No, the Shooter 1721 video where he's going through the trenches.
Yeah.
So it looks good on the Sony A6300, and it looked great on the action camera. So it's just like I have a LUT that is just like I like it. So I think I'm gonna actually sell it.
But will it be $29.99?
Dude,
your LUT pack.
Honest to God. I'm working on a project, and I was going to post it for $29.99 because I knew I was going to get a comment out of you. You freaking called me out on it before I even did anything.
It's Tret, man.
If you want to be the best, if you want to be professional.
Spoiler alert, in the next video that came up, by the way. I haven't posted the video yet, but
oh no,
it's coming. But no, that's super cool. And you said you would lose like viewer retention when you got shot or whatever. And if you think about how Airsoft and gaming relate, if you're playing a video game, you're probably all like into it, but then like if you die in the game or whatever and you have to respawn or whatever, you kind of trail off and you're like, well, okay, maybe I'll go get some nachos or something, or walk away. So that kind of makes sense from like watching video gameplay and watching Airsoft gameplay, how similar they are, because that would make a lot of sense in my mind. Anyway.
It's a dopamine hit. It is what it is, because you look at our attention spans have gotten smaller and smaller. Like everyone's focusing on this like TikTok style videos, shorts, reels, all that stuff. So your pacing has got to be like someone doom scrolling on all of those platforms looking at short form content. So the second you lose them, like if you can pace it well enough and like short jump cut, jump cut, jump cut. Honestly, the guys that are running the cameras facing back at them is just one more element that you can keep transitioning through the three cameras. Which pro tip, if you are doing that, run all, and if you're using Final Cut Pro, that's what I personally use. You can do a multicam clip if all of your cameras are named something different for one, and for two, you're shooting in the same frame rate. All three of those, you can actually on the fly like edit super fast. You can basically chop your timeline up and keep all three of the camera angles in one clip essentially when you make a multicam clip. Edit that and then just watch the timeline or watch the footage front to back, and you can basically just hotkey what camera you want to be working viewing from. So it's like, dude, I will sync up both my cameras then when I go to do post. And like, I'll go film gameplay footage and have the video turned around the next day, and that's just from the elements that I have pre-saved, because it's just like all you got to do, multicam clip, chop it up in the timeline, hit what cameras you want to be using, and then go back through with your overlay, throw the music in, throw the LUT on if you want to. You're done.
That's awesome. I need to learn more about that stuff, because I'm still accidentally double clicking things or pushing a button on the keyboard, and then it expands into this huge clip, and I'm like, Command Z, and nothing happens, and then I have to close it out and open it back up again.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You double click the transition, it drops both of them down, and you're just like, where are you guys going?
How do you undo that though? I don't know.
Double click the transition, they'll go right back to normal.
Oh, see, I kept hitting Control Z, and then it was undoing everything, and I had done, so I had to go back through and redo it all. I was like, oh, but no, that's good information, definitely. And I think too, like what you were saying with shorts and scrolling, probably changing, kind of like on TV. I think it's, what is it? The rules like every 3 seconds or less. The frame will change, or the scene will switch or something. So I think the faster the content rolls through different images, I think that's better. And that's something like with these tech videos, I'm trying to figure out how to get different camera angles or move. Because like you just set it up on a tripod, and I have limited space to film in and stuff. So it's like, I know it can be kind of boring, but
do the multicam clip trick for teching videos. Have a camera facing down, maybe a side angle, and you can speed edit that stuff. No, you just literally highlight both the clips that you want, as long as they're like they were filmed at the exact same time. You can go in and highlight both of them. We might have to do a Zoom call to break it down.
Yeah, that would be good.
And then you highlight both of those, hit right click. Yeah, it's right click, and then it'll say create multicam. You can do like compound clip or create multicam clip. If they're the same frame rate, man, you just do that. It creates a new clip. You drag that down in the timeline, and then you open up one of the windows on the left-hand side. It'll be all your camera views. I think you do like 16 cameras you could do. My camera will literally catch the house on fire if I tried doing like that many. I think the most I did one time was like 6 camera angles. So I was using all the phones that we had in the house. I got all of this footage compiled, and I was just going through and like hotkeying all these camera angles, and it was like bouncing around all over the place. Never went anywhere with that video, but it was just kind of for me to experiment with. But that it's overpowered. It is a great hack. I mean, but then you got to spend the money. Like if you want to be pumping out content, I feel like you do kind of have to spend a little bit of money on, decent cameras, and then obviously editing software, and then a computer that can handle that. Because I mean, you know how it is. Yeah, exactly.
But like, honestly, if you have an iPhone and a decently powerful computer, I feel like you could do a lot.
For content creation, absolutely.
Yeah, but like I've got the really nice cameras too, and there's a place for iPhones and cameras on iPhones, and there's a place for actual cameras. And I know I'm going to get kicked back on this, but I can take a picture with the iPhone, and I can take a picture with my camera, and I think the camera is less megapixels than the iPhone is, and the camera 9 times out of 10 is better because of the glass that it has.
It's all about the glass.
That's the optic side of it. And I think the iPhone Pro that I'm on now has pretty decent optics, but I mean, how are you gonna get a lens like this big into a camera? Like there's
Hmm.
you have limitations, but for the most part, an iPhone will get you anywhere. But the GoPro or like the Akasos. Now between the two, the GoPro wins because the Akaso, the audio on it is absolutely terrible.
It's trap, man.
It's dog water.
Yeah.
But um, but the GoPro in 1080p is plenty, I think, for gameplay footage, and you could probably get a used one on eBay or maybe on Facebook Marketplace, that type of thing. And you can buy relatively cheap batteries on Amazon too. So I think that would be good if you're wanting to just start out. Also, real quick, I will throw this in there. If you're new to Airsoft or you're even not new to Airsoft, wearing a GoPro when you're playing can help a lot because when I'm going through and editing my footage, I'm like, why did I round that corner without looking? Or maybe I should have gone that way, or I didn't see that guy there, or I didn't know I was doing that. Like, it's really good feedback for even just yourself if you just watch your gameplay footage and not even post it, even. So I think there's that aspect of like, because when you're in the moment, you're kind of hyped up and you're like, I don't want to get shot by plastic BBs, and you know your brain's thinking it's a survival situation in some cases, and I think you kind of lose the moment in like what's actually happening versus what you think, and that's pretty common, I think, too. But
Hmm.
that's probably why there's so many disputes on the airsoft fields. Like, oh, I remember it was this way, and then you look at the footage and it's completely different.
Right.
So, but no, I think it's good and it's just fun. And you know, one thing I would say to like beginner content creators, especially younger ones, if people are like commenting negative comments, just delete them and move on. Like, just keep doing your thing. And I think it's important that you start somewhere, and we all have to start somewhere, right? Like, even you started somewhere, and you'd probably laugh at the videos you took 10 years ago or
The
whatever.
the crazy thing, my dad and I built a channel and went from 0 subscribers to now 85,000 subscribers. And
That's a
like,
lot.
I'm freaking crazy to go start at 0 again. Like, I spent the last 6 years it's been building a channel, and it's like I did it with him, and it's like I like air guns, like the industry that he's in, but it's not it's not my thing. I grew up from the time I was like mad young, so in early teens, the whole way into adulthood. Like, I was a tech for paintball. I played Division II paintball. I played airsoft. Worked at Airsoft Pro Shop. Like, this extreme sport or these extreme sports are just it's in my DNA. I grew up doing it. Like, so
Right.
I just decided to go back to square one. And you're right. Like, with dad building his channel, man, we made 500 videos on an iPad and uploaded them to YouTube before anything ever happened. And that's long form content. That's not short form content. 500 freaking videos.
500 is a lot of videos on an
500
iPad.
on an iPad even. And I edited everything
Impressive.
on the iPad. I uploaded from the iPad. Like, we did that. So anyone who says like you got to go buy this or you got to go buy that to start a channel is that's silly. You don't need that, and that's someone speaking from experience. Like, that's I grew this channel to its size basically shooting on my iPhone. There are occasions I'll bust out the Sonys, and like if I want the video to look a certain way. Sometimes I'm just lazy, and it's like, I know I've built a channel with an iPad and an iPhone to almost 100,000 subscribers, and I can do it again. Like, I can just use my phone
Yeah.
to do it, and you can do it too. Like, that was a really good point to the ones who are just starting out, because like we lived it, and it was like there's so many times we thought we were going to quit. Dad just sent me a picture right before we started the live stream. We were out filming in negative I don't know what temperatures. I am wearing 3 hoodies, a jacket. I have one of those thermal space blankets on, holding a drone, and we had a tin of pellets that was completely frozen, like frozen shut. And I'm just standing there. I'd see if I can find that picture, but
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, just don't give up. Just grind it out. I mean, I spent a year producing a video. I'm actually over 500 videos on this channel. I did that in a year.
That's crazy. Yeah, you've been posting like mad. But like you said, it took 500 videos to even get really kicked off on that channel with your dad. So and I think it's even harder now for newer content creators who are starting from zero now. I think it's even harder because it's more all about those algorithms and short form, and it's not, like the Demolition Ranch and stuff like that back in the day. They just got big because they got so many views, and then they kind of went straight up to the top, and now it's like you can't do that.
Can I just say something to new content creators? They're like, seriously, take the Apple philosophy and like, we're not going to be the first to do it, but we're going to do it better. Basically, like, you need to do that with content creation. Like, I was talking to someone who's like, why bother with YouTube now in 2023? We're standing in the chrono line, and dude looks at me and he's like, why even mess with it right now? And it's like, look at what everybody's doing, pick something and do it better than what they're doing. You will grow. I promise you. There's still guys coming up in the gun industry. There's new people all the time with like 80,000 subs, 100,000 subs. I'm like, I've been on this kick for a long time, and like, never heard of them, never seen them before, and they just blow up. So it's not impossible.
No, but I think it's also important on the flip side of that, if you start out with something like an iPhone and your content needs to evolve over time as well, I think, because that probably didn't make much sense. Let me start over. If you start out with like a cheaper camera or an iPhone, as you grow your channel, and that channel is going to call for higher quality videos and like higher quality editing and stuff. So it's really hard. And I think that's part of where I'm having trouble too. Like, you have to have this curve where, your content can go up, but then you have to bring your editing to that level, and you have to bring your equipment to that level to some extent. Like, I think it's, if you're filming 720p and you're wanting to get like 1 million views or something, you're probably not going to get that because, it looks like you're filming with a potato. Like, even 1080 now on some of these monitors, it's like, that's a potato. But we're so spoiled with 8K and 4K and all this stuff coming out. It's such clear footage, and I think that's a big part of it too. But
I agree.
Skill set wise, like, if you can't edit, maybe look for somebody to edit for you, type thing. And there's Fiverr.
There's people on Fiverr. You can just go on Fiverr if you need logos or video editing, or it's not even a plug. Like, I'm not sponsored by any means, but like, I've outsourced logos and stuff like that. And there's actually some Airsoft content creator editors that'll work for you that are decently. I mean, they're under $150 for a video. So they'll take your gameplay footage and make videos for you. So there's editors out there. So you could outsource. If you're a small channel, I would not advise doing that. I would grow your brand to a certain size where you need an editor, and then, because you're focusing on like your brand, your YouTube channel is a business. I don't care what anyone says, if you're doing it for fun or if you're doing it to make money, whatever. You need to look at it as a business, and eventually you are going to have to get to that point. But to get to that point, you're going to need to keep everything in-house.